you guys are coming off a very unexpected 8-5, but like you guys beat Utah. Utah's like a favorite to win the Big 12 and make the college football playoff, and you beat them in the bowl game. So like
we've beaten them in a bowl game twice.
Yes. And so what's the expectations now for year 2?
I think Scuzz, we were talking about it, but the goal is a bowl. And I think, you were talking about it when, you were presenting questions you were interested in and saying like, hey, like you guys, you've got 2 teams that played in the national title game on your schedule. You've got Michigan and Ohio State in back-to-back weeks. You have to go on the road to Iowa. And I think if you frame that to a Northwestern fan is thinking, well, yeah, we can remember like the few but important hallmark moments when we beat Ohio State and Michigan, but that's not really part of our calculus here, right? Like on the other hand, like we're looking at Washington and again, like there's just a lot of tea leaves. Like we like that game. Like we're not saying that like, oh, we're going to win that game, but we kind of like how things are matching up there. And like, we're excited about that game. And then in the case of Iowa, and you say like, oh, you have to go to Iowa. Like we dance with Iowa every year. We've danced with Iowa forever. It's like Iowa and Wisconsin. Like these are teams like we could write a doctoral thesis on these teams every year. Like we know them like the back of our hands. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that like we're looking and being like, hey, like we know exactly what's going to go down when we trade blows with Iowa. We see it every year, right? Ohio State and Michigan, whatever. We're looking at all of those other games that there are. So for example, like we're in the middle of doing all these summer previews that we do every summer. A ton of our discussions focused around like Miami of Ohio, because in a projection for a bowl, that's a kind of win we're looking at. And we're like, and a lot of people that probably are outside of the program are not focused on that game. That's a huge game for us. That's like maybe the best team in the MAC, one of the best, maybe with the best defense outside of the Power 5. And we have to deal with that at home in week 1. And that's a win that we need. So it's like, those are the kind of calculations Northwestern fans are making. Because our goal, is a bowl. Like 6, anything better than that is great. But we're trying to keep the momentum going here. And it's games like that we're looking at as huge.
The crazy thing is that Northwestern hasn't seen 2 consecutive successful years in forever, not since 17 and 18. So we've been up and down, and 18 we won the Big Ten West, 19 and we finished last. 20 we won the West again. 21 and 22 we were last. Last year was this wild. It's literally been a roller coaster.
Yeah, last year and then last year we're talking about won the West. For anyone outside the Northwestern family who doesn't know, we were a 52-yard field goal away from playing for the West a second time. That's the Iowa game. We lost to Iowa on a 52-yard field goal, and that's the difference between. We would have gone to overtime. We liked our chances in overtime against Iowa, and that's the difference. We would have won the West again. So it's that, but it's that whiplash is that's what we're dealing with year to year. Like Scuzz is saying, we're trying to string 2 good years together.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. There's an irony because you guys are talking about knowing Iowa pretty intimately and like, oh, we know Iowa, they're fine. I have nightmares of Iowa at Iowa because I think the last time we were there, we lost 55-24, and that was after we beat Penn State in a thriller. So it makes sense that you guys are like, we do that every other year. It's fine. I have a little bit more trepidation, I think.
It's not that we're not. I'm telling you, we just previewed them. They're rolling out an NFL defense again for like the 10th straight year. I'm certainly not looking forward to playing them, but it's just the familiarity is there.
Yeah.
But like in the way that Iowa is, a thorn in your side as a Buckeye fan, we are the thorn in Iowa's side as Northwestern. Wisconsin more so because that series is actually like dead even over the last 25 years. But I like the last 2 times we were at Iowa, we got smoked there in 22, but in 20 we beat them.
Yep.
In a really tight game, a year when they were good on both sides of the ball, frankly. So I like Jon said, we know who they are and what to expect from them. The Big Ten West hysterically has been this, like mud fight, right? For however many years that nobody comes out of there smelling like roses, and Northwestern has benefited greatly from that. It's going to be it's kind of a weird situation not being in those divisions, but I think at least for this year, next year, the Wisconsins, Iowas, Minnesotas, Purdue's are still, that's really still our wheelhouse, and who we can most easily compare ourselves to.